Instead of the overlooked and underlooked films of the week, I would like to institute a new segment called Good Reviews of a Bad Movie. Or the Good Review of a Bad Movie. Selection this week is Conan the Governor, or as everybody else likes to call it, Conan the Destroyer. I lived through Conan the Governor, aka Conan the Destroyer, with no technical difficulties and internal discombobulations. It is a lighter touch of hand, not bogged down with the pseudo-mystical seriousness of the first Conan, a film that obviously wanted to go far beyond the realm of the usual Dino De Laurentiis film production. Dino brought the world the first King Kong remake and Orca the Killer Whale. Here are some of the distinguishing factors of Conan the Governor. Number 1. Arnold earned himself a Worst Actor Razzie nomination for the first Conan, and his acting's not exactly improved by the second Conan film. Director Richard Fleischer and writer Stanley Mann wisely give Arnold fewer opportunities to act, and this makes a world of difference. Arnold displays his acting chops during a scene where Conan goes on a miniature drinking binge, and Conan's dialogue can be translated as "what?" with about 4 or 5 question marks. Conan destroys the English language. Number 2. Grace Jones. The first Conan cast Broadway dancer Sandal Bergman, and her chest size at least gave Arnold some competition. The second one casts Grace Jones. You remember Grace Jones. She helped redefine androgynous, and heated debate rose up around the speculation of her flat top or her chest being flatter. Imagine the spectacle of a wild and crazy night of binge drinking, coat snorting, and disco dancing at Studio 54, and then waking up the next morning to find yourself next to a naked Grace Jones. A night in sight like that may have caused many a weakened warrior to give up the juice. In Conan the Governor, Jones plays a warrior whose name verges on Zulu. I hope for Olga. Helga, what a majorly disappointment. Number 3, Wilt Chamberlain. The casting department rolled the dice on this film. I laughed mightily at this headline today having something to do with fast food calorie bombs. And I laughed heartily yesterday at this line referencing Chamberlain's character being the sole protector of a future queen's sacred virginity. Yes, consider this. Chamberlain wrote a book claiming he slept with over 10,000 women. So a good night during his NBA glory days meant 50 points, 25 rebounds, 7 blocks, and 3 cheerleaders. Now imagine him being the protector of any girl's virginity. The epic final grand finale mano-a-mano showdown between the Stilt and the Governor turns out to be a grand finale dud with predictable decapitation results. Number 4, Livia Diabo, history's first Valley Girl. In a year's time, Red Sonja, another epic sword and sorcery action spectacular starring Arnold, directed by Fleischer and produced by Dino, gave us history's first martial artist scooping Bruce and Chuck in the form of a child actor named Ernie Reyes Jr. Diabo whines and whines and whines in Conan the Governor over a boy named Conan and seeks out Grace Jones for advice on how to entrap a man. Diabo never ever once mentions that she wants to go shopping and shows even more restraint by not uttering the words, like "gag me with a spoon." Number 5, director Richard Fleischer. This old-school hack, who actually shared an Oscar win for a documentary feature in 1947, and enjoyed a long and illustrious career. I hacked into the Internet Movie Database mainframe and found R. Fleischer's directorial credits. There will be a test at the end of this paragraph. I never grade tests on a curve. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Dr. Dolittle, Tora, Soylent Green, the jazz singer, and Amityville 3D rank among his finest credits. I only saw horrendous bits and pieces of the jazz singer pairing Neil Diamond and Laurence Olivier as son and father do not total recall 20,000 Leagues from Childhood and hated both Tora, and the despicable Amityville 3D. I'd say directing the Conan the Governor is a step up for a director who saw Neil Diamond sing in blackface and Tony Roberts buy that damn infamous Amityville house. By the way, considering their legendary reputations for a sordid lifestyle of decadent hedonism, what off-screen shenanigans did Arnold, Grace, and Wilt partake in? Sounds like a case for Kurt Loder, Scooby-Doo, Ryan Seacrest, and Inspector Gadget. I give Conan the Governor, a.k.a. Conan the Destroyer, 2 stars. Next on the program is 300. 300 made me want to go out and kill something and feel like a real brute man, or at least feel like those kids at the beginning of the Wild Bunch. Now there's a violent movie that shames 300. To be honest, 300 inspired the usual thoughts of why there seems to be a perpetual audience for this brand of entertainment. We have an entire generation of younger folks who openly plead guilty to having no interest whatsoever in politics, yet have no problem watching meaningless violence, which must somehow not be affected by political decisions. Just curious, but do audience members have a vested rooting interest in Sparta and Persia like their ancient Pittsburgh Steelers or Arizona Cardinals? This cynical old man never felt emotionally involved the entire 116-minute duration of 300. Oh, with one glaring exception, so glaring it required Terminator-style glasses to fight the bright. When Lena Headey's Queen kills the crooked politician. That moment in time brought on the old fist pump, but the remainder of the running time, the old thumbs were twiddling and tweedling and ding in a state of suspended boredom. Maybe I have seen far too many films like 300 in a lifetime of watching violent action movies, and no longer feel impressed by a spectacle propped up on the pretense of being set in ancient times. Oh, this film must be important because it's based on both a Frank Miller graphic novel and real history. I absolutely hated the fact 300 rendered so many battle scenes in agonizing slow motion. There must be at least 100 slow motion shots in 300. And so in tribute, the rest of this review should be written in random slow motion so as to avoid the predictability of the film under consideration. I wanted to know, where's the giant scoreboard for Sparta and Persia? Where's the halftime show and the annoying commercials? I want at least one scene where the cast takes its turn saying, I am Spartacus. This is another film set in ancient times where all the characters speak English recycled from ancient drama set in ancient times, old gladiator movies, and halftime speeches, while as the narration derived from old dime store novels and those filming sources. I wanted to laugh at this film's epic dialogue. Even a great film like Stanley Kubrick's masterful Paths of Glory, set during World War I, it feels bizarre watching characters that should be speaking French kicking out the English language jams. Just once I'd love a film to actually research the language of ancient peoples and make the film in that language, or a film set inside Middle Earth where the characters speak Mandarin Chinese and not English. All the men in 300 have bigger cup sizes than any of the women characters in 300. Maybe this irony can only be really appreciated by somebody who had their manhood questioned on a semi-regular basis over the years. In Red Sonja, at least Brigitte Nelson gave Arnold Schwarzenegger a run for his cup size. This is yet another film where these ancient warriors are played by actors who look as if they spent too much time in makeup preparation inside the luxurious trailer before the next great battle scene. I remember Gerard Butler. Yes, I do remember Gerard Butler. Not so fondly after watching him in Dracula 2000, as he gave us the first Dracula meant to do the catwalk, if not on America's Next Top Model, at least in the next Right Said Fred video. Only a certain select few may be able to appreciate the delicate irony of having seen the preview for a super lame chip flick starring Gerard Butler and Katherine Heigl the day before watching the very same Gerard Butler in the super lame man flick 300. 300 receives 2 stars.